So, all right, friends, let's sit up nice and tall. Take whatever comfortable seat suits you. We are working on hips, back, feet, sciatica, and a little bit of grief and sadness this morning. So if there's anything else, if you joined a little bit after everybody, there's something else you want to throw into the chat, I will check it before we start our poses. But right now we're going to take a comfortable seat and get that breath work in. So let us find that stillness in our bodies. Bring the shoulders over the hips and allow your eyes to close from top to bottom. And just allow your physical body to arrive at the practice. And then you can begin to notice your breath after the body has become still. And then while we're here, before we start our breath work, just do a little scan from head to toe, noticing any aches or pains, what feels good, what could feel better. And then find that breath once again, in and out through the nose. A little fuller, a little deeper. It's more intentional right now. And then allow your jaw to relax. Let there be some space in between your top and your bottom teeth. Soften through the eyes. And if you wish, you can gently tuck your chin in if that feels good. Otherwise, keep it level with the floor. And palms can be face down for grounding energy, or palms up if you are ready to receive all the blessings and gifts from the universe today. So the breath we're going to do today is 4, 7, 8. Many of us are familiar with it. And if you're not, if it's new to you, it's a count of 4 for the inhale. We hold the breath for a count of 7, and we exhale for a count of 8 through the mouth. So like pierced lips, very gently just pushing that air out. So let's take 2 inhales and exhales together, and then I'll start our count. So when you're ready, inhale and exhale. Just clearing everything out. Inhale and exhale. All right, friends, when you're ready, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now exhale through the lips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and return to your intentional breathing, but not the normal, just a little more intentional. So keep it nice and full, keep it flowing. And remember, we use our breath as a tool in this practice. So when you get to the point of your breath where it becomes strained or you've forgotten to breathe, maybe back off the pose a little bit. Remember, we're only going as deep as feels safe and comfortable for us in our bodies today, finding that balance of effort and ease. All right, friends, so here we go. Let's go ahead and I'm just looking here. Let us go ahead and start with the feet. Okay, so last time we were working on the feet, we did a little bit of energy medicine yoga where we were kind of massaging the feet. So I think that might be a good place to start to kind of get them warmed up. So you're going to take your hands and kind of massage down the long bones. We can go through this a little faster today since I think we're familiar with this. So the long bones, you're just kind of massaging on the bone. And then when you get to the webbing, I want you to pinch the webbing in between each toe. Yes, and then you massage each toe and then give the nail a little squeeze. Just little rubs of the toe and then squeeze that toenail. Just release that energy in the feet. Always a good opportunity to find some gratitude for the feet and the legs and everything they do for us. If you want to turn that foot so you can press your thumbs into the sole, that's also really nice too. So this is really good to do in the morning or at night. I like it before bedtime. Get some nice lotion and take care of the feet. All right, when you're ready, you can switch feet. Same thing, you're just rubbing down the long bones and then pressing that energy towards the webbing. And then you can pinch the webbing between the toes. And then massage each toe. Toenail gets a little hug, so give it a little squeeze. You might have toes that snap and crackle and pop. That's totally fine. And then turn it over. You can massage the sole with the thumbs. So pushing all that energy up towards the toes. Not too much pressure, but just enough. All right. Okay, let's do our two favorite feet postures. I know they're so much fun. So you're going to come down onto your knees, curl the toes under, okay? And before you sit back or anything, just make sure all 10 toes, including that baby pinky toe, sometimes it doesn't want to come forward because it's a little smalls, but make sure all 10 toes are facing the same direction. And you have two options here. You can lower the hips down to your heels. This is a lot of pressure, so this is opening up the sole of the feet and the toes. That's too much, then you can come up and stand on your knees. So you have a couple of choices here. It's not a long hold. We're going to be here for 1 minute. So as you're ready, begin, and maybe you start standing on the knees, and then as it gets a little more comfortable, maybe you lower back down. All right, so breathe here. Remember, we're finding that balance, effort and ease. Use that breath. Nice long exhales. Oh, by the way, that 4-7-8, when I was teaching seniors at the senior gym, that was one of the techniques I was sharing with them. Helps to soothe and relax the nervous system. I like to use it like Nadi Shodhana if I cannot get to sleep. It's a nice little breathing tool to calm us down. It's always good to have breathing techniques. All right, nice big stretch in the toes, 10 seconds left. Are you feeling it? I know I am. I needed this. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, friends, slowly come up. You can come forward, place the hands underneath the shoulders, and if you want, you can just kind of tap the tops of the feet. See how that feels? That feels okay. All right, and then we're going to get a little bit into the ankles and the tops of the feet. So you're going to sit back down onto the heels. But if you cannot, I like to give you an option with a blanket roll. So you can take that blanket, roll it up a couple little rolls, place it so that that little indentation where your foot and your shin bone meet, your lower leg bone, will go right there. So it gives it a little bit of space. If that's just in case the top of the foot cannot come flat. We're all built a little bit differently in the feet. Some of us have a lot of flexibility, some of us have very little. So that's step one. All right, so that's if the tops of the feet can't go flat. You have the blanket support. Now, options here, we're gonna be here for another minute. Hands in front of the knees or next to the knees and lift. You can also slide some blocks under the knees. You can put a blanket, a bolster, whatever you like. Lift those knees any amount. You're gonna feel a stretch over the top of the foot. And we're just breathing here. Maybe lift a little higher. Gets a little bit easier. Not sure if this pose ever gets any easier. It's a good one to take though. We need this. Again, just giving some love to our feet and our ankles. Think of all the walking, all the steps you take. If you're a person that likes to get their steps in like me, then you know how much you walk, right? So you want to give your feet some TLC. All right, come on out, lower the knees. You can do the same thing that we did after the toe stretch. Just kind of tap, tap, tap the tops of the feet. All right. Beautiful. Let us now we're going to get into the hips, and we're also going to get into the heart center. So this, for Miss Luna, so this, we're going to work a little bit here on the lungs, which is where grief and sadness kind of reside in, and allowing us to kind of open up the heart gives us that opportunity to breathe a little bit deeper. So I know when we're grieving and we've had sadness, taking those fuller, deeper breaths is really challenging. We kind of stay shallow. So this is going to give us an opportunity to breathe a little bit deeper into the heart space and allow some healing, right? Okay, so let us do that. Oh, and then for the lower body, so basically reclined bound angle posture that we're doing. So soles of the feet come together, and then you can use whatever props you wish. I'm just going to take it into my blocks because I really like the sensation of the blocks on my back. So one block at the tallest height, the other one medium, or you can use a bolster over that, or just use a bolster, period. That's also an option. So soles of the feet come together, and I'm going to take my nice little blanket roll that I love to support my shins. So that's going to go over the tops of the feet, tuck those tails, so you have a little circle supporting. You might need to shift around a little bit with the blocks depending. So you want this kind of like at mid-back. And this is going to allow you to open up, get that nice little heart lift. The tallest block is going to go behind the head. So just make sure it's that right part of your skull. So you're looking straight up. Try not to tuck the chin here, and just let the shoulders roll open here. So nice big heart opening here. And I'm going to give you another option for the arms. We're going to hang out here for about 4 minutes and just really soak in this shape to really get the most maximum benefits from this shape. All right, friends? How you doing? Good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tune In Tuesday Yin Yoga. Option here, my friends, if we want to get a little bit more into the lung and heart meridians, we're going to bring the arms overhead, clasp those elbows, and breathe. If we start to tingle or the arms start to tingle or go numb, that is a cue to bring the arms out. So find the appropriate depth for your shape, whatever that is. And then we hold still and we hold for time. So just allow your body to be supported by whatever props you chose. Still active but passive. Continuing to take that fuller, deeper breath into your bodies. Let the chest expand, let the rib cage expand side to side as you inhale. And soften through your jaw. Let there be some space between your top and bottom teeth. Keep those nice full breaths flowing in and out. With each exhale, allow a little bit more release. Maybe through the hips or maybe through the shoulders and the arms. The shoulders opening up a little bit more, letting the heart get a little bit higher and a little bit more open. Let that breath expand through your belly. All right, friends, gently begin to deepen that breath. And if you closed your eyes, you can gently begin to blink them back open. And taking those hands on the outsides of your thighs, you can gently bring the knees together. And just let the feet plant on the floor. Walk the feet a little bit wider, about mat width, and let the knees just knock together. We're going to pause here before we make that transition to come up. So just hold right here. Take a couple more breaths. And then as you're ready, you can shift over to one hip, one side. And just bring that top arm down to support you as you come back up. All right, how we doing, friends? Good? All right, I see a few more of you popped on. Welcome, always happy to have you. All right, now if we need to take some movement, and you want to come to hands and knees, maybe you start with some cats and cows or just kind of shifting the hips side to side, whatever your body is asking for. Let this be natural, let it be organic. There's no right or wrong here. It's just doing what your body is asking for. What do you need? So ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do I need to stretch my legs? Do I need to stretch my spine? Where am I feeling sensation? So just take some time, move your body a little bit, And then we will get into our next shapes. All right. So when you're ready, let's come on down and take a seat. I'm just going to pop over to the chat. Is there anything that I missed? No, we're doing good. All right. Just feel free to pop anything into the chat that you need. I'll be very aware of checking it during the postures once we get down into it. So this shape, depending on how your pelvis is sitting, you may want to take a blanket and sit up on it. Right, we're going to take the legs wide, but not too wide, just wide enough. So the blanket is going to serve as your pelvis neutralizer, all right? And then bring the legs out to the side, like I said, open, but not too open. You may want to block. Now, take this down. I don't need this today. It's always nice to have a blanket when you need it. All right, so we have our legs open. We're going to take a little side bend. So this is going to be good for the hips, the low back, my friend with sciatica. And then remember, as we're here, we're just going to let the feet roll open to the sides. Remember, when we practice yin, the intention is very different than if we were taking a hatha class or a vinyasa or iyengar, right? Remember, it's like very like press through the heels, toes up, we're straight. Certain aspects are similar, but the intention is different because we are not really engaging the muscles in yin. This is all about the soft tissues. So we either have compression, so we're pushing together, or we have tension, we're pulling apart, or we're twisting. So those are the three ways in which we stress these soft tissues, right? It's the same thing with muscles when we're lifting weights or we're doing calisthenics or yoga, right? There is some strength to it in most of the practices. Like we're holding postures, we're engaging the muscles. This is the opposite. This is yin, right? So that is more of the masculine, right? More of the yang energy, right? So this is different. This is the other things that we don't really focus on, but we need to, right? This is going to help us to stay more loosey goosey as we get older, which is what we want. We don't want to stiffen up and stop moving. Movement is medicine, my friends, or in this case, stillness is medicine. But you need both. We need that balance. We need to move and we need to be still. So, welcome to stillness today. All right, block on one side. I'm going to bring it to my right side. I'm going to start there. And then you can either have this block on the inside, the outside, very personalized. Do what feels right for you. You can bring a forearm, an elbow, whatever you like. I'm going to bring my arm down and I'm going to take my head in my hand here, just so I have some support. So you're going to feel it on the opposite side. The root needs to stay grounded. So don't let this left hip pop up. Ground it down. So if that means you need to come back a little bit more, do that. If you can, go further, go further. All right, friends, we're going to take this for 2 minutes on each side, and then we'll do one down the center at the very end. So, excuse me, when you're ready, join me. All right, and this other arm can be down in front of you. You can also bring it over your head. Some options. Depends on the shoulder health and what you're looking for today. Again, just gently allow your body to come towards the side, not pushing or forcing. I'm just going to slowly let gravity do the work here. Keep both sides of your pelvis grounded and rooted onto your mat. And once you find your shape, come back to your breath. Notice your breath here, my friends. How is it flowing? See if you can still keep that nice, fuller breath flowing into your body. Remember, it's intentional. We're breathing with a purpose, as we always should be, but even more so right now. All right, friends, you can slowly plant your hands and bring your spine back to neutral. Maybe take a little breath in between. If you want to like kind of lean back, you can. Maybe lean forward. Whatever you need before we go to the other side. Right, bring that block over to the other side, to the left side, inside the leg, outside the leg. Again, personal choice. And when you're ready, well, let's go ahead and bring that arm, elbow, forearm, whatever you're using, onto that block. Or maybe you're using your hand on your leg. Totally up to you. These are the different choices we all can make for our shape when we come to our yin class. But definitely be thinking about this right hip. I can already feel it wanting to lift. So I'm going to pull my block back a little bit closer to the left hip so I don't need to go forward so much. When I go forward, that back hip wants to pop up. I want to keep it rooted, okay? Because my goal here is to get from the hip up the side, which is going to help my low back. You're going to feel it. So if we don't ground that hip and it comes up, you're not going to feel that stretch. You're not going to feel that tension happening, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're adding tension here by pulling apart. And now when we pull apart one side, we compress the other side. So we're getting that. And you might feel a little bit of a twist here, minor, maybe, if you do it all. So go ahead and just find that sweet spot and breathe. All right, friends, on your next inhale, go ahead, release that arm, slowly come back up to center. Take a moment and breathe. If you have something to sip on, you can do that. And then now for the last part of this pose, we're going to come forward. So if you need to bring the legs closer together, you can, or if you want to take them wider, totally up to you. These are all personal choices, which I love about yin. This is very much your practice. I give you the blueprint of the shape, and depending on your body, you get to choose how far you take it. Deeper, not so deep, somewhere in between. All right, now you can use blocks, you can come forward, you can hinge. So now you're gonna feel in the low back, the outside of the hips. Depending on how far down you come, you might feel it on the inseam. So when you're ready, we're gonna take our 2 minutes here. Remember, let those feet roll open to the sides. We're not holding the toes up. Legs are very inactive, as you could see, right? Inactive, very passive here. But now we're bringing ourselves forward, rounding. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit more. If you tuck the chin a little bit more, you're going to get a little bit more sensation into your spine. So take it where you need it to go. But just continue to breathe very intentionally. In this fold, you can take that breath into your back body, expand the back of your lungs, expand the back of your rib cage. Feel your kidneys and your adrenal glands getting so much space here. They're not compressed right now. But compression here in the belly, which is fine. Sometimes we need that. All right, my friends, on your next inhale, begin to rise, roll yourself back up. Good. If you used blocks, you can set those off to the sides. And you can just take your hands behind your knees and then just pull the knees up so the feet come flat. And then take the feet about hip distance, and we can windshield wiper the knees side to side. So we can take this nice and slow. Doesn't have to be too active. But just drop one knee into the inside and then one out. Get a little external and an internal rotation of your femur bone in the hip socket. See how that feels. So depending on where you are feeling the stress, right, the tension or the compression in your body, you might feel like it's a little delicate, right? We just stressed some of those tissues. So if the hips feel a little like loose, that's normal. I just want you to be very mindful about some of the activities you do directly after yin, because you're kind of like opened up some of these tissues. So you might feel a little like, ooh. That's why it's really good to practice either first thing in the morning, like we are today. I really haven't done much activity yet. So it's a nice way to open the day and a nice way to close the day. So having a yin class like 6, 7, 8 o'clock, before you go to bed, really good for the nervous system. It kind of sets you up and prepares you for sleep and rest. So that's one of the things I love about yin. All right. So let's take whatever other movement that we need. I want to lead us into a sleeping swan or a swan. Again, getting into the low back, getting into the hips, and the sciatica will be so good for us. If you need a block or a blanket, go ahead and have that handy and ready. I'll see how I'm feeling today. I'm going to bring this close by. Yeah, so block, bolster, or blanket, whatever floats your boat for this next shape. So we can take it either from our on all fours, or if you want to take it from a downward facing dog, totally up to you. I'm going to bring my left knee in towards my left wrist. Remember that shin bone does not need to be completely parallel, but the back leg does need to be flat and straight. So find whatever works best for you. If you want to put that blanket underneath the hips or whatever you're using, you can definitely do that. All right, option to stay up. Maybe we just stay here, see how this goes. All right, I want to bring us here for, let's do 2. I think 2 sounds good. All right, so more than welcome to stay up where you are. Just keep releasing as much as you can. And then as the body opens up, you can drop down to elbows, and then you can bring your forehead down to the floor or maybe to a blanket. So you take this as slowly as you like, or stay where you are. Again, doing a brief scan from head to toe. Release your jaw. Soften through these areas, soften through the hips. The hips are really going to want to keep you from releasing here. But On each exhale, soften a little bit more. Let the pelvis open up. Let the hips drop a little bit more. And breathe. All right, friends. That was 2 minutes. I felt like it went by so fast. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and slowly lift up if you came down. You just kind of roll off to that left hip. Kind of bring your knees into 90-90s if you like. Then we can go the other way. So, however you want to get to the other side, maybe you just kind of bring it back into all fours, or maybe you bring it into a down dog, whatever you want to do. If you need a little movement in between, you can stretch one leg out at a time. Give your body a little space. And then when you're ready, we'll go to side number 2. So from all fours or down dog, you can bring that right knee in towards your right wrist. Again, have whatever props you may need close by. Sides are going to change, right? They're going to feel a little bit different side to side. So get that pelvis as close to the ground as you can, and then slide that prop support. And then just find that stillness. All right, we got 2 minutes here. When you're ready, just breathe and extend through that back leg. Good. Lift up through the heart just to breathe for a moment. And then as you're ready, you can bring yourself down, but give yourself some time if you need it. Don't force yourself into any shape. That is not the goal of this practice. Keep breathing, opening up through those hips. And then when you're ready, whenever that is, you can come down. All right, friends, gently walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale to come back up. And you want to just shift back over to that hip, kind of bring it into 90-90s, however you like. Then you can just kind of come onto your comfortable seat, maybe extend your legs, let the legs just kind of move around a little bit, give them a little wiggle, a little jiggle, or maybe windshield wipers, whatever you like. Okay, after we're done with this little bit of movement, we're gonna take our twist. So the twist that I'm going to offer today is going to be one leg down, right, along the mat, and the other leg will come across the body. We're going to try to straighten that leg as much as possible. I really want to get into the low back and the hips, work the sciatica a little bit. So if you have a prop, if you have a block, a bolster, blanket, whatever you need to prop the leg on, it might feel really good. Just so that we can ground down through both shoulders. All right, so I'm gonna bring this bolster where I think my leg is gonna plant. So here we go, friends. Down onto your backs. Let's just start with hugging our knees in towards our chest. We're just rocking a little side to side. Just kind of give the low back a little massage. If you want to bring hands on top of knees and let the knees move in a circle, that's an option. Or if you want to just keep rocking side to side. Again, all of these are very personal choices. They are all acceptable. They're all right. Not one of them is wrong. But just remember, if you did the circles with your knees reverse, go the other direction as well. And before we get into that, let's just go ahead and take a happy baby. So grab the outsides of the feet, let the knees drop in towards the armpits. If hands do not reach, then you can grab the back of your legs, the shins, whatever you can reach. But the goal here is to keep the whole spine flat, so don't let the tailbone come off the floor. Keep it grounded. Soles of the feet face the sky. Little breathing here. Little compression. Feels good. Okay. Take 2 more breaths here. Nice and full. Let those feet just kind of come down. We're going to extend the right leg straight to start. Keep that left knee kind of hugged in. And we're going to bring the left knee across the body to the right. Go ahead, extend your left leg straight as much as you can. So it could be low, it could be high. Place it wherever it feels right. Now, we still want to feel some kind of sensation, right? This isn't just like a passive twist. There's still work happening here. So bring that leg over. Both shoulders are grounded and your gaze can go towards the foot, towards the sky. Or if you want to really work on neck and rotation and twisting, turn your head to face the left. Otherwise, we're going to be here for 2 minutes on each side. And breathe. Keep taking that breath from the belly all the way up to the collarbones. So think pubic bone to clavicle. Nice deep breath. And if you want, you're always welcome to lift the leg a little bit higher if it feels like it's been a little easy to keep the leg there. Want to feel that I'm feeling it definitely, the sciatica, like right behind the hamstring, definitely feeling it. So the higher you lift, the more you're going to feel that line of energy. And that's what we want to do. We want to get into that and move the energy. We don't want that painful sensation. All right, friends, stay for the inhale. And then exhale, slowly roll to your backs. You can hug both knees in once again. Give your body a little rock, a little space. Right. Same thing, other side, left leg lengthens. Keep that right knee hugged in. And then as you're ready, go ahead and bring that right knee across, right leg across, straighten it as much as you can, and then you can lift it as high as you can. And then holding here, we're gonna be here for 2 minutes. All right. How long is the class gonna be today? It's always an hour, Luna, always from the top of the hour. Yeah. And then again, your choice, wherever you want to look. You can look towards the leg, towards the ceiling, or over the opposite shoulder. But whichever version you take, just make sure your shoulders are grounded down. That's why we have the bolster or a block or a blanket. You're all going to use something that's a different height depending on the shoulder. So if the shoulder is popping up, you might want to opt for something a little bit higher to allow the shoulder to come down to the earth. But if you have it on a bolster and it's easy and you can leave the shoulder on the ground, then maybe you switch to something not so tall, something a little shorter. And breathe. So a nice twist in your spine, but also some nice lengthening in the leg too. Actually, both legs. All right, friends, slowly roll to your back. Plant your feet and just let your spine settle there. Let there be some kind of neutralness happening in your spine. And just take a moment to recover, take a couple of breaths. And then, as you are ready, you may lift the hips just to give a little more realignment to the spine. And you can do that a couple times. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Good. And then anything else, if you want to hug the knees in one more time, you can lift the nose to the knees, give your body a little squeeze. That's a choice. And now we will prepare for Shavasana, our final shape, my friends. So get whatever props you need, maybe a bolster underneath the knees, a blanket under the head, and arrange yourself comfortably. This is what we've worked for. This is what our nervous system is now needing to really let those postures and the benefits of each posture to integrate into our nervous system, right? Because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this practice for the nervous system. Same thing like restorative. This is a little more active than restorative, but on that same side, if you're looking at it like a spectrum. All right, friends, so arrange yourself, arms alongside your body, your elbows bent and hands placed on the belly, and breathing. You can release that very intentional breath to something a little smoother, a little softer, but let it be natural. All right, my friends, begin to deepen your breath fuller and deeper into your body. And just gently point and flex through your feet, your toes, just gently waking up your body. You can do the same things with the hands and the wrists, just kind of flex and extend. And then you can take it into some circles in one direction for the wrists and the ankles. And reverse. And then on your next inhale, take a big, big breath, reach arms overhead. And then slowly roll over to one side and make your way up to a comfortable seat. How are we doing, everybody? Good? Feeling ready for your evening or the rest of your day, wherever you are on this rock? Oh, sending those hearts and love right back to you all. Thank you so much for being here. All 48 of you, amazing. Thank you so much. Remember, every time I come to teach on Insight Timer, this is a practice for you. So please, whatever's going on in your body, let's address it. Let's get to the root of it. And let's release that energy. Okay? All right. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll close our class. On your inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in each and every single one of you, my friends. Namaste. I hope this practice served you well. And if you receive benefit from it, please, please leave a donation, right? That's your way of saying thank you. Of yes, this class was worth my time and my energy as well as yours, right? It's an energy exchange. Currency is energy, yeah? Okay. All right. Thank you so much, my friends. We have practice again on Friday at 4 p.m. So join me for Feel Good Friday, the same format. You let me know what's going on in your body, and then I come up with a sequence in my head for the practice. Yay. Thank you, Luna. I really hope that benefited you and you have a little bit of relief, even just temporarily. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much. It was great to see you all. I will see you Friday at 4 p.m. my time, Pacific time. I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I will see you Friday. And if you want to know more details about this class and where I post the video, you can always ask me and I will let you know where you can find it. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram and you can see where I post all the things. All right, friends, see you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.